This is the voice of Chris Curtis in for Greg Hill, who will be out until the new year. And on a day where the most insane things happened over and over again, beginning with the World Cup final, ending in Vegas, the most shocking conclusion to a sporting event I have seen in my lifetime. We'll be talking about it all morning. Courtney, Wiggy are in. Bill Belichick at 7:45 will be in a great mood. Boomer Esiason joins us at 9. Courtney's news will be at 7:30. We'll get to everybody all morning long. But I don't think I have ever sat, I was alone in my home, and rewound and played a singular play more in my life, each time more bewildered than the time I saw it before. The wildest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I was saying this to Curtis before the show. I don't think I've ever had such a physical reaction to a game. Like, my whole body just jumped off of the couch. I knocked things over. I've never felt that way watching something. And they were set up with the Jets losing, with the Dolphins losing, for this to be something good for the Patriots, for us to walk in here today and have some type of hope. And for us to walk in today and feel the way that we feel, start from scratch.
They're going to find a way to blame Matt Patricia for that one. I mean, that was the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. And I played a lot of football. In that situation, I'm like, bro, what is you thinking? Now, first off, I'm like, Ramondre Stevenson, what are you thinking? Because by you lateraling the ball, that usually only happens when a team is losing a game and they need a touchdown and there's nothing you can do. That was just the dumbest thing ever. I was watching that game like, what?
This is the same team who, against the Vikings, they had the ball on the final play of the game. They're down a touchdown. They throw it to Jacoby Myers, and he falls down. When they're down, they didn't do a single lateral. In this game, they think it's, the Stanford Cal game. I couldn't understand. And the simple explanation, and we'll be looking for yours all morning, from my perspective, this is the result of a brain drain of the people in charge of coaching everyone. Whether it's Cam Accord with the punt block, a guy that has no business being a special teams coordinator. Whether it's the defensive staff, which is basically Belichick's family. Whether it's the offensive coordinator with Patricia. Whether it's Bill, do you think this team looks like a team that should have more days off in between games? Does this look like a team that's buttoned up?
No.
How many days off have they had this season? How many days off have they had going back to OTAs? This is what I'm talking about. Things like this don't happen in a vacuum. There is a cause and an effect. And what you saw last night should make you want to barf.
And I think a lot of people are obviously looking for excuses, and they're thinking of Jacoby Myers. And did he think that they were down? Did he think that they were losing? Did he not know that they were tied? And we'll play his sound during trending. He was emotional after the game. He knew he effed up.
Yeah,
It wasn't a miscommunication on what the score was.
That's not on no coach, nobody but you, the player. Like,
right.
You got to know in that situation, you know what the situation is. There's plenty of time. They had put a little bit of a drive together in the sense they were using their timeouts. You know what that situation is. Jacoby Myers is a player who's been in the league for a number of years. I put that one squarely on, and we have Ty on Tuesdays. Sometimes as players, you guys step up and be like, man, I effed that one up. That was the dumbest thing that I could have ever done.
Okay, what about delay of game? What about calling a timeout and precluding you from having a touchdown?
Right.
What about a million plays we've watched this team do over the course of the season? Wiggy, you've been on football teams where you're around smart guys and you need to be on top of your game because you don't want to be the one that F's it up.
Right.
This team is not anywhere resembling those Patriots teams.
No, I understand that, but you lost that game because of a boneheaded play by a player, and you lost that game because a call from the referees, which was an absolute horrible call.
Horrible.
Everybody who thought it was like that was no touchdown. That's why you lost that football game. Yeah, with the delay game.
Well, did you lose it because you got a punt blocked? Because that was a pretty important touchdown that resulted from that.
That to me isn't on the coach, because if you look at that play, Jabril Peppers wasn't even ready. He's over there talking to somebody else, and then your boy Cardona snaps the ball.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait a second, what, like, so plays like that wasn't on Cam McCord. That's on the players for not understanding, like, what are we doing here? I'm having a conversation with the up back who's making calls, and the long snapper snaps the football, and as soon as Jabril Peppers, like, looks back, the guy's 5 yards behind him.
And you look at Cam McCord on the sideline, he was pissed.
Yeah.
He was like, what is everybody doing out there? I think that a lot of the coaching staff is looking at the players like, what are we doing?
And those
It
are vets.
Yeah.
It looks to me that the players and the coaches neither want to take responsibility. That on the field, I'm not talking post-game when you've had a little bit of time to collect yourself. On the field, it's Matt Patricia calling a timeout. It's Mac yelling at Patricia. It's a brain fart from Peppers, and it's a Cord screaming at him so everybody knows it wasn't the play. Instead of dealing with things and fixing the issue, this has become a CYA situation where everybody's covering their ass. From the head coach saying we forced the Bills to punt last year when you didn't, to the guy on special teams. It's a culture that has been created that was so successful for so long, and it's over. Last night, it ended any talk of the Patriot mystique. This team needs a reset in every way imaginable. Like last week, we did a poll during the show. Do you want the Patriots to make the playoffs and lose in the first round, or miss the playoffs and blow the thing up? Before the game, it was 55% said blow the thing up.
Well, they got their wish because they ain't making the playoffs.
They're not making the playoffs, and in the end, this could be a positive. But last night was the culmination of a very long process over 3 years where it was no longer about what's best for the team. It's been what's best for Bill or what's best for Mac or there have been many independent contractors working under the same roof, not going in the same direction. And while that play is a 1 in a billion, the ramifications of it and what led to it, I think, are pretty easy to understand.